Is one of the world's most wanted militant alive? Viewers Nick Cardona, at Nick Cardona 93, has that story. BUZZ60. This undated image posted online on August 24, 2017, by supporters of the Islamic State on an anonymous photo-sharing website, purports to show ISIS fighters firing their weapons during clashes with Syrian troops in Raqqa, Syria. Photo, AP. Washington. Sophisticated weapons the U.S. military secretly provided to Syrian rebels quickly fell into the hands of the Islamic State, a study released Thursday disclosed. The report said the Islamic State's possession of these weapons remains a threat to the U.S.-led coalition still operating against the terror group in Iraq and Syria. The arms included anti-tank weapons purchased by the United States that ended up in possession of the Islamic State within 2 months of leaving the factory, according to the study by Conflict Armament Research, an organization that tracks arms shipments. The study was funded by the European Union and German government. Efforts by the United States and other countries to supply weapons to rebel groups have significantly augmented the quantity and quality of weapons available to Islamic State forces, the report concluded. The study examined 40,000 weapons and other items recovered from the Islamic State, also known as ISIS, during the past 3 years. The militants have been retreating across Iraq and Syria as U.S.-backed forces have routed them from their strongholds. Investigators were unable to determine whether ISIS captured the weapons on the battlefield or whether the rebels sold or gave the arms to the terror group. The report cites an ISIS propaganda video showing militants with weapons captured last year from the new Syrian army, an alliance of fighters battling the regime of Syrian President Bashar Assad. It has long been known that ISIS captured a huge amount of American weapons including tanks and artillery when the militant group swept into Iraq from Syria in 2014 and routed several divisions of Iraqi soldiers, many who abandoned their weapons and fled. The new study raises questions about a different source for weapons, arms secretly sent to rebel factions fighting Syrian President Bashar Assad in his long civil war. The covert CIA program, begun by the Obama administration in 2013, was ended earlier this year by President Trump. Saudi Arabia, which, like the U.S., strongly opposes Assad, also supplies weapons to rebel groups. The CIA declined to comment on the report. The findings highlight the risk of introducing weapons into a civil war, where it is difficult to track the arms or control how they are ultimately used. The covert U.S. arms program was designed to pressure Assad and prevent extremists from getting an upper hand in the civil war. "We didn't have a lot of choices at the time," said Andrew Tabler, an analyst at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. "It was the best way to manage the situation. Many rebels backed by the U.S. were overrun by extremists like ISIS, which was growing in power." The covert program arming anti-Assad rebels is distinct from the Pentagon's publicly acknowledged operation to arm the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, an alliance of Kurds and Arabs fighting ISIS, but not Assad.